Now I see what you've got here is Netflix committing two big no-nos at once, being super long and being super sad.
Keep going.
Netflix decided, oh my goodness, you know who would be perfect to star in an emotional gut punch of a romance film? Sofia Carson. Really? Okay, yeah, so we meet her mother, Connie Britton, who's wonderful, and we meet her at a party. They're all happy, they're all enjoying themselves at a party, and then her mom gets a private moment alone with her at the party and says, hey, guess what? Cancer's back, I'm dying. 3 seconds later, she's dead. I mean, Jesus! Like, they just decided to pull our hearts out through the top of our heads, like, through our brains, because it tried to be heartbreakingly emotional in the way that would irritate our brains the most. The Lifelist stars Sofia Carson as a woman with not much personality, whose dead mother leaves her a message from beyond the grave that she doesn't get an inheritance until she finishes her dumb teenage bucket list, which she has to do by New Year's or she doesn't get anything. The things on that list include, like, falling in love and training and being a teacher and, like, just changing everything about her life, and she has less than a year? So she begins doing the stuff from the list, like stand-up comedy, which is a painful experience for both us and her, and Sofia Carson just seems to be playing herself, and she is terrible at stand-up comedy. And guess what? This film is labelled as a rom-com, but it's just not. I'm not saying it's terrible at what it does, I'm just saying what it does is not comedy. It's never even really trying, I think. I hope. Maybe this film's much worse than I'm giving it credit for if it was trying to be funny, because it's not funny. Like, at all. But yeah. Also, what 13-year-old girl makes a list like this with that many big and public embarrassing things to go and do? Like, when I was a teenager, I just stayed inside and I was happy with that. I hid inside. It was wonderful. The list is confusing, and that's kind of the main plot, but also the main plot is her romances. Because she has this one guy that she breaks up with like 20 minutes into the film, and it's like, okay, now you're gonna go find the right guy. No, she doesn't. This film is so long. I'm not saying it is terrible, but it is so long. And honestly, I feel like it probably should have been like a mini-series. There's definitely no season 2 you could have done here, but like a mini-series. Like, because it's got so many, like, tangents that feel completely separate from the rest of the film. Because she's got so many things going on at once. You know, she gets this job teaching these kids at a women's shelter. And the film's really interested in that for a short amount of time and then never again. And same thing with, like, oh, she goes on this trip with her friend to meet her birth dad. And that takes, like, a whole, like, 20 minutes. Nothing else in the film is happening. She's not focusing on the list, blah, blah, blah. But then ignore all of that again once that bit's over. Like, it just feels segmented like a TV show much more so than a film. And I'm not, it isn't bad. Honestly, it's better than the normal, because I do complain a lot about the normal Netflix slop that they give us in rom-coms. And this is probably better than a lot of that. But it's just, it should be good. And instead it's kind of very mediocre. And I think it needed to either just not be a film, this format just doesn't seem right for it, or cut out some of the stuff and focus more on other bits. Because I think focusing on Sofia Carson as a teacher, trying to help these kids at a women's shelter, I think there's like kind of something there, and the romance itself is fine, the main one, once they actually get there. But then you could have just done this as a film with a lot less of the hash around that, about the other romance, about her birth dad, and things that we've seen a lot before, because you didn't need all of that. It is very predictable, and that's fine. I don't mind that. It does the emotional side of things pretty well at times. I think I struggle to like any of the actors in this that much, but I can deal with most of them. I like Connie Britton a lot, but I can't like her character that much, because how obnoxious do you have to be like, yep, I have 3 children. You have this, now here's all these video messages, here's this elaborate thing you've got to go and do, me trying to fix your life from beyond the grave, which, how obnoxious do you have to be like, yep, you've just finished, I'm dead now, you don't have to look after me while I've got my cancer anymore. No, let me puppet your life for the next year. Come on, that is horrible, but also super favorite child syndrome. Like, my goodness, she did nothing for her 2 sons, but then her daughter, she's like, yep, all here. Crazy. So yeah, I think it does what it does pretty well. What it does isn't what it says it does in the box, because it says it's a rom-com, it's not. It doesn't have even the most basic instinct of what comedy is, and Sofia Carson, I genuinely would hate to watch as the lead in any sort of comedic film. Fortunately, that's not what this was. And I'm giving Nice to Be the Favorite Child 2.5 stars. Literally, they do address it in their scenes with their brothers where they're like, can you show us these videos? Like, we got nothing. Like, but holy fuck, imagine being like dying of cancer and thinking, I'm going to plan this whole elaborate thing out for one of my children. Like, that's so savage. Oh, subscribe if you were also a middle child.